two fellas from Kansas and a whatever from Indiana
are looking for the signs and into the stars for the perfect pair of motion pictures.
out there.
A couple of flicks, 3 corn-fed cinephiles, otherworldly connections.
This is the Midwestern Crop Circle Double Feature.
Yet another movie podcast. Hello, everyone. Tonight, you could win $10,000 just by listening to our podcast. Welcome to the Midwestern Crop Circle Double Feature Podcast. Ooh, Halloween edition. Ooh. Listen, I just worked 7 hours. You're lucky you're getting anything.
We'll take it.
Hello, my name is Zay. If you watched or listened to our other episodes, you know that. And here, we've got Brett and we've got Christian. Good night, everyone.
I think you should call me Christian, Prince of the Dark. Add a sound effect of like lightning right here. So yeah, it's Halloween episode, isn't it? I think Brett's choking. He's so verklempt right now. He's so verklempt.
At some point, one of you two made me laugh beforehand, and something happened here that I'm still trying to figure out. So,
well, there's many Halloween miracles here. Brett's choking, and he got rid of his hair. Like, not like you know what he looked like, but just imagine Jesus.
Yeah.
And now imagine... I don't have it.
Go
Sorry.
for it.
Keep going.
What really happened is that I saw James Brolin in the Amityville Horror, and I was like, no, we can't do this anymore. It's time.
What do you mean? He's very handsome in that movie.
The only thing that I recognize him from as this look is his cameo in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. As Pee-wee in like the movie version of it. And then if you look at him today and you're like, oh. And like he's Mr. Barbra Streisand.
You're right. He is. He does look good in the movie. His performance, we'll get into that. That's to come later.
Oh, Brett
also,
thinks he can do better.
Damn. Also, shout out to Diane Keaton, everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
Brett was at a football game, and unlike in 1994 when they literally interrupted the NBA playoffs for OJ, they evidently did not interrupt his football game to announce Diane Keaton had died. Zay was the one to inform me. I was at a Walmart in the soup aisle. We had to stop for a little bit because that was like, what the fuck? Are you serious?
I literally texted Christian. I was like, Christian, sit down. all you said was, oh my God.
And then yesterday, Brett is like, you're going to be so mad at me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Another person's dead. And he's like, no, I'm seeing one battle after another again. And I'm like, there are too many people dying. Which then led to today when somebody in the city named Mark Hamill's running, and Toby in the car on her way back from the store goes, Mark Hamill. And I go, what? What happened now? Like, there's just too much. It's too much for me.
Would not be good. No, Diane Keaton, one of the greats.
Absolutely. I'm more of a fan than Brett. It took Brett 6 hours to make a post.
Call me out.
Wow.
I saw summer camp. Neither of you two saw summer camp.
I'm waiting. We're doing a little marathon of things.
It's not very good.
I know that, but I saw Mac and Rita. I think that's the biggest one here, okay?
I saw that one.
Brett, do you even know what Mac and Rita is?
Yes, I do. I don't know though. I probably have other missing films in my Diane Keaton watch list that come a little bit above Mac and Rita and
Maybe.
what even is the other one again? The Summer Club? Is that what?
Summer camp.
Summer camp?
Summer camp.
Yeah. Probably a few more to get there.
Who could forget Palms, where she plays an elderly cheerleader?
I finally got to looking for Mr. Goodbar, and that was quite good. A good Diane Keaton movie. That's like classic Diane Keaton. That has nothing to do with Woody Allen.
Mr. Goodbar is really good. There's the 4K out that I think came out earlier this year. Unfortunately, it's one of those that's like $50.
No, it's not.
Oh my God.
It was like $30 last night.
Oh.
I checked yesterday and it was like $50.
I checked
They must have
Amazon,
loaded.
so...
Oh, okay. I didn't check Amazon. That's fair.
You think I go through boutiques?
Bitch,
That's
you can't
fair.
even spell boutique.
Move on.
All right.
So
Should we talk about movies?
Katy Perry and Justin... Oh, okay. Yeah, movies.
Yeah, let's not get there.
We can avoid that one. All right. Well, as we mentioned in our last episode, I have the month of October, and I promised to do horror movies. So here we are. We have House on Haunted Hill, and we have the Amityville Horror. 2 films I've never seen, but I was interested. So when we think about themes, last time, a lot of times it's narrative. Last time it was more aesthetic. This time I was thinking like historical. Like I enjoy haunted house movies, but I personally don't have a great idea of like the prototypes, the ones that are from the past that are really significant. And even if not everybody enjoys them, they're touchstones. So that's how I landed on these 2. First one we're going to talk about is House on Haunted Hill, directed by William Castle. Blah. Came out in 1959.
Wait a minute. Did I watch the wrong one?
I hope not.
Because Jeffrey Rush was in this one, correct?
Not that I saw. So the original House on Haunted Hill features the main character, Frederick Lauren, who's played by Vincent Price, and him and his wife, Annabelle, who's played by Carol Omart, invite 5 people to a house that is supposedly haunted. It is not their home. It's just one that... It's actually... the exteriors are the Ennis House in LA, which is designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, which is kind of interesting. But they rent it out, or, whatever. And they say that if you can stay here throughout the night and make it through, you will receive $10,000. And they even say, like, if you die in the house, we'll give $10,000 to your next of kin or whatever. So there's a sense of danger. There's an idea that not only is the house haunted, but your lives may be at stake if you come here. The 5 occupants include a test pilot, a newspaper columnist, a psychiatrist, a woman who works for Lauren's company, and the homeowner himself, who fully believes that it is haunted. It was the reason for the death of his brother, I believe. I literally just watched this, and I can't remember which family. I'm pretty sure it was a brother who died there. Yeah, he fully believes, he is terrified to be there, but he is one of the 5 there. And of course, pretty much as soon as they step in the door, as you might expect, mysterious things start to happen. A door slams shut. There's a chandelier that falls and nearly crushes one of them. As the film goes on, we have people being locked in rooms, people who see actual ghosts or what they believe to be ghosts. There's a severed head that makes its way into the hands of multiple people in this movie somehow. But it all kind of culminates at one point in the apparent suicide of Annabelle. And so that's when things get real. At first, it seems like she has hung herself, but it turns out that they're like, no, wait, there's no way she could have done that herself. Somebody had to have pushed her. Something is fishy here. And that's where everybody kind of starts to think, oh, this place might actually be haunted for real, or so we think. So they have this plan that everybody's going to stay in their rooms, and Lauren gave them all handguns as a little party favor, because I guess that's what you do when you're in a haunted house. But they're like, okay, anyone comes in your room, shoot them. Don't even think about it. That's how we'll know who the killer is and blah, blah, blah.
Vincent Price said, Second Amendment.
There you go. But things take a turn. The movie does this thing that I really like with movies, where it keeps going back and forth between this idea of, is this place really haunted? Is there something supernatural going on? Or is it just somebody working behind the scenes? We come to find out that this is all part of this plot between Annabelle and the psychiatrist, Dr. Trent. They are lovers. It's been made very clear up to this point that Annabelle and Frederick do not get along with each other. They do not have a happy marriage. And they have plotted not to kill him, but to have the young girl who was invited kill him, to basically trick her into killing Frederick. We think this goes to plan. They're in the basement. Lauren surprises her. She shoots. He falls over. Dr. Trent goes down to dispose of the body in a vat of acid that is just hanging out in the basement for some reason.
Okay, pause. Because in watching this yesterday, like, when they're looking at this vat of acid, Vincent Price has a face on him like, holy fucking shit, what is this? And here's me going, just throw some baking soda to neutralize that thing. Because they're like, wait, this is still here? Like, what is the selling point of that? Oh, we got a pit of acid in the basement, by the way. Like, that's my 2 cents.
I don't like fermentation. You put some grapes in there, you get some wine. Is that how that works? Just really quick.
Also, how deep is the pit?
It's got to be pretty deep. Holds at least 2 bodies.
And a skeleton.
Yeah. But yeah, so turns out that Lauren was in on he knew about the plot the whole time. He tricks them, shoves Dr. Trent in the vat of acid, and then in what is probably the signature scene of the movie, when Annabelle comes down to check on everything, a skeleton rises from the acid, takes on the voice of Frederick, and was like, "Oh, why did you do this to me? How dare you?" and pushes her in the vat of acid. And so it is in a way that we know that a lot of the things that were concocted by these three people trying to get at each other. And Vincent Price ends the movie with this line, "I'm ready for justice to decide if I'm innocent or guilty." I guess not ends the movie, but that's like one of his last lines. But the owner, who's played by, is it Alicia or Elisha?
I would say Elisha.
Oh, I thought Elisha. Okay. Played by Elisha Cook Jr., who is like, I still know there are ghosts here, and they're coming for me next, and then they're going to come for you. And that's how the movie ends.
Okay, but his face this entire movie is like one face the entire time.
It's just
like the confused look on his face, and it's like, sir, do you need some help or something? Because, yeah. You've never seen this movie?
Never seen it.
It's kind of crazy. You didn't have like 75 minutes in your schedule?
I guess not. No, I am surprised I hadn't seen it before, but I'm glad I saw it now. Because it is a lot of fun.
Did you like it then?
I did.
Yeah? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I had a great time with it.
I like that after watching this movie the first time, I don't remember when I saw it the first time. No, I can't begin to remember. I just realized, like, this just became, like, a trope in so many, like, I guess I'm thinking, like, there are only 2 examples I can think of are, like, the Flintstones and Scooby-Doo, so Hanna-Barbera loved this movie. But just, like, a concept of stay in this house, win some money. As if that's just a commonplace thing.
You mean, like my favorite show, Big Brother?
Well, fair enough. This is the prototype of Big Brother. I looked it up though. I think another connection I thought of while watching both these movies was just the concept of money and like what it means to people, and then also just like thinking about how much that money would be now. I used an inflation calculator, so take this with a grain of salt.
I
Um,
just folded up too.
yeah, it was the equivalent of winning $111,000, and like, yeah, sure, I would take on. I would like dance around the acid bath a little bit just to win some money.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Let's talk about the housekeepers, though.
Creepy.
Like the fact that the blind one is like she's just there, you
Yeah.
know? And then like they pop into the living room and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the housekeeper and his wife. She's blind." Like, great. Could you have maybe warned me?
And like she doesn't even walk; she just like has Heelys on and just rolling around the place.
Well, it's also kind of funny because he doesn't say this, but the young woman, her name is Nora. I forgot her name, but her name is Nora. She's the one who first sees them, if I remember correctly. And she screams and she's terrified. And when we find out who they are with Vincent Price, it's kind of almost a sense of they're the housekeepers, you dick. Like, come on, chill the fuck out.
Which by the way, Carolyn Craig, who plays Nora, I mean, read her bio because it's kind of sad. She died super young and everything. But like the one scene yesterday that made us just like lose it was Vincent Price is telling everybody, come down to the living room. And she's like, all right. And then there's a box on her bed and she opens the box and it's a head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, your natural instinct is to start screaming and saying, somebody help, somebody help. But instead, she walks out of the room, goes into like a curtained area, and is like, I'm going to go through this curtain. Totally forgetting about the head situation. And then everything else happens. She's like, ooh, there's a wall here, knocks on the wall, and then somebody freaks her out. And she's like, ah, right after that. Madam, there's a head on your bed. Okay, that's an issue. I mean, I love it. I like this movie a lot, but like, scream, ask for help.
It has this B-movie feel where like the movie is undeniably funny. And I don't think it's just in like a 2025 way. Like there's stuff in here that like had to have always been funny. And yet at the same time, I feel like it's also sincere.
These people care so much about being in this house and everything. I told Toby, and I think I wrote this in my review, I would simply say, where's the kitchen? I'm going to go spend my night in the kitchen.
Where all the knives are?
I can grab a knife. I can make a sandwich. Okay?
Isn't that what they try to do in Clue, though?
Yeah, but instead, I'm going to stay in the kitchen. I hear somebody screaming. I say, God, dang, and I'm just going to stay there. I'm not moving.
Oh, yeah, I agree, though. It's, I mean, it has that B-movie charm to it where it's like, there's no money involved here. Your biggest star power is Vincent Price. Everyone else is just people off the lot that are just like, you want a chance at showing up? Here you go. But so I think there is a mix of sincerity and also there's barely money in this. It's not like this is ever going to be the main attraction. Might as well have fun with it.
And I did find it effective in that thing I was talking about where like, is it supernatural or isn't it? There's so much back and forth where like one scene, it's like, oh yeah, it feels like there's a ghost here right now. And then the next it's like, maybe not. The one that I'm still like grappling's probably not, I'm not thinking that hard about it, but I'm like curious if I missed something. When Nora sees what she thinks is Annabelle's ghost, there's a rope that like crawls on the floor towards her feet and Is there an explanation for that I missed? Or is that just like one of those where you kind of take it, this is that B-movie thing where it could be?
I mean, spoilers for the end of the movie, whatever Vincent Price is doing with that little skeleton, I don't know how he makes the skeleton strong enough to push what's-her-name into the acid.
It's true.
So I'm like, is it the same kind of magic? Like,
yeah. Just suspend your disbelief and...
Yeah, they were just like making the rope move.
It's called, look, this audience ain't going to give a shit.
And we're gonna throw a skeleton at them while they're watching. For
Okay,
fun.
before you get to that too, the whole history of that, I would just say that if I was a person in 1959, like alive, I would see this movie based on the poster because the poster is terrifying.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's the large skeleton with a woman who's hanging. What more do you need? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's enough for me. Okay, talk about The Thing.
So you all, I don't know if there's much to it. Y'all probably know more about than I do, but a feature of seeing this movie at the time in certain locations, of course, were that if you're in the audience during the scene where the skeleton comes out and pushes her into the vat of acid, a skeleton would actually come out and like float above the audience, basically, the way I understand it.
Basically on a zip line.
Yeah. So it was one of those things that like, yeah, I mean, get people talking, go experience this. It's one of those things that like I read a few what I could find of like reviews from the time, and of course some critics it just totally pissed them off. They're like, this is dumb, but I think it would be cool. It'd be fun.
I mean,
I don't.
go ahead.
Oh, you go first.
Okay.
You go first.
I was going to say that's like William Castle's whole thing, though, was like he wanted to make sure people went out to see his movies to make sure that they were a whole event. And there was that. There was like he had like the Tingler. If you went to see the Tingler, there was like 4 seats in the movie theater that would like buzz at a certain point in the movie, and you were expected to like think the Tingler was getting you, so you'd have to scream. Or he'd have like a nurse in the lobby and be like, "This is in case you faint during my movie." And I just casting Joan Crawford in Straight Jacket was its own kind of like that. So he was just very
Which
interested in. He was like a showman, like this is like the
which
new circus.
which then you get Hitchcock. Then I read the next year being like, "Hey, I can do that too." But his gimmick for Psycho was if it starts, you don't come in till the next showing.
Yeah.
Which I mean that works. But I was gonna say like today, obviously, it wouldn't work just because but also because I'm thinking the exit signs too, because legally exit signs have to stay flashing at all times.
Yeah.
Which is like I shouldn't say unfortunate, but like laws and stuff. I will say, okay, so this is a side note about exit signs turning off. Broadway, went to Sunset Boulevard. You've seen the movie. Everybody's seen this movie, okay? The point where she kills Joe is a complete blackout. Like the exit signs went off.
Oh my God.
And one part of me was like, holy shit, that's cool because we were in total darkness and the light slowly fades back on to her. But my second thought was, even the fucking exit signs, like, what if I have to exit right now? I wouldn't know where to go. So that's me and exit signs, okay?
I feel that. That's terrifying. I'm sure you've both seen Joe Dante's Matinee.
Yes,
Absolutely.
that's a good movie.
Pulls heavily from that idea in a fun way too. So.
If listeners, please watch that movie too. That is a very fun movie.
Yeah. But yeah, you talking about the poster and how it is actually like kind of scary looking. The beginning of the film is too. Like it opens in that kind of traditional horror film way.
That's the other thing. Okay, back to exit signs. Like again, this wouldn't work because in reading like the history of this, it starts out with a scream.
Yeah.
Like a pretty good scream that even if like our TV was on like 15-20 in terms of volume, but it was loud. And like he wanted it to be that you think that there's somebody actually in the audience screaming. Well, obviously you're going to be sitting there. You're not looking around. I mean, okay, in 1959, you're probably not looking around. But like it was effective even in the house. Okay.
I agree.
Like that's another part of the gimmick. It is a blood curdling scream. So like, there you go.
Have y'all seen the remake?
Yes, I have.
Not very
No.
good.
It's not. That's also like they turned the Vincent Price character into basically a showman.
Mm.
where he makes like attractions and stuff. So this is like his next gig. That's all I can remember of it.
Is it ultra serious? Because that seems
Yeah,
like something they would do. But
I wouldn't say ultra serious, but it's just like that 90s horror sheen to it.
yeah.
It's like we're gonna capitalize on Scream, I guess, and ooh, you're scared.
It was something. It was like they were wanting, like, William Castle's family wanted to, like, remake his movies. And they got to that and 13 Ghosts, and that was about it.
Hmm.
Which, people like
Okay.
13 Ghosts. I'm not into it. I think the concept's neater than the execution.
Well, this one, I love the music, love the atmosphere. I think Price and Omart have great interactions. Price is, of course, really fun in the lead role. But thinking about like horror movies that I've seen, and again, mostly modern stuff, it's just like very fun and playful in a way that I think has been kind of lost, or that maybe we don't see quite as often. There's probably examples out
I
there that I don't know of, but
Well, see, and how I interpret this, I don't necessarily like, obviously, it is a haunted house movie, but I think that this genre may be more of just, like, people in a big house genre to me, if
yeah.
that makes sense. And that's why I'm like, something like Ready or Not feels more akin to this genre to me.
Mm,
I mean,
that's fair.
definitely, yeah, definitely Clue,
Right,
even
and
too.
Clue.
That's true, because like when they're coming in and all the characters are being introduced, I have in my notes, this has a setup similar to a murder mystery with all the
Mhm.
characters. And that's
I mean,
essentially what it becomes.
you can even say
So,
Knives Out in that case, then, because Knives Out mostly takes place in the mansion.
yeah.
You know. Um, Speaking of Vincent Price, Zay,
Hello.
what'd you do?
I I did not kill Vincent Price. I mean, to the people who already follow me on I guess Letterboxd too, Instagram, you would know that I had done an event with Victoria Price, daughter of Vincent Price. We didn't really talk about this movie a whole lot. We showed Theater of Blood, but we didn't talk about that movie a whole lot either. And we just talked. It was like it was only 40 minutes of talking, so it was like a lot condensed into that 40 minutes.
What did she have to say about her father?
A lot of things. I don't know. Christian, what do you?
Pull out like the biggest thing. I don't know. Was there a
uh,
revelation?
yeah, he was a big stinker. I like that. One time, he made it on the set of Theater of Blood. He like made it look like she was being like kidnapped by a bunch of strange-looking people, and he comes in and rescues her. When the whole time, it was like all of his castmates acting like they were gonna like kidnap her, and she was like terrified.
Oh my God.
So you basically have met Vincent Price.
Sure, that's how you
You're
want
so modest about it.
to.
Yeah.
I don't know. She was just a person. She was really nice.
Oh, see, there's a difference between a person and a person for me.
She had a very cute dog.
That's true. She does have.
I think tonight, as we're recording this is the one that they're showing at the graveyard tonight.
Mm.
Oh, that was tonight.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
tonight and it's like Thursday also because they both sold out. So real glad I knew we were watching this beforehand.
I'm sorry.
Oh, last thing, I guess, before we transition, how do we watch this? Because this is one of those like public domain movies.
Wikipedia.
Did you really?
No.
Oh.
No, it's on Shutter. It's I don't know
Mm.
whose restoration is, but it looks fine.
I
HBO Max
watched
for me.
I was gonna say I watched on HBO and it was actually really good.
Yeah. No, it looks really good. Yeah.
But you can find it on Amazon Prime, Canopy if your library goes through Canopy, Shutter, HBO, the Roku channel, I'm fairly certain YouTube, and I
yeah.
know for a fact Wikipedia. Like, literally, there's a link to it on Wikipedia.
This is making it sound worse and worse that I had not watched it until this point.
I mean, yes. Also, like, my first know of it is I have a collection of like 70 B, C, D, F, G horror movies that I got at like Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel, of course.
And this is of course in it because it's,
Before they went woke.
Yeah, before they went woke, they sold movies.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So next movie,
if y'all
which
are
is
ready.
also oddly enough has a remake to it.
Yeah,
Well, it's a horror. Most horror movies have a remake at this point.
and like 50 sequels.
Which I have something to say about them sequels.
Well, our next movie is the Amityville Horror. If you've had any interests at any point in your life of like supposed real life cases of hauntings, you've probably come across this story. This is based on a 1977 book by Jay Anson. Film came out 2 years later in 79, which is claimed to be based on true events, but you know. The movie begins on November 13th, 1974, which is when Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his parents and his 4 siblings in their home in Amityville, New York. That part is 100% true. But a year later, we have 2 newlyweds, George and Kathy Lutz, and they're touring the house. They're getting a great deal of $80,000, which when I heard that, I nearly shit myself. But they're going to move in with...
Sorry, that was the other inflation I wanted to look at. It would be $360,000 today.
Still a steal.
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems that Brett's movies, the themes are both haunted houses and inflation.
Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what I was going for. But they take it. They move in. Kathy has 2 sons and a daughter from a previous relationship. And it becomes clear, at least to the audience, very quickly that the house is haunted. There's this stuff with the character Father Delaney, who's played by Rod Steiger. He comes in to bless the house while the family is out on the lake. They basically just missed each other. So he walks in and he's like looking around and he sees this window that is like being swarmed by a ton of flies. And eventually they start swarming him and doors start closing. And he hears a very deep male voice that says, "Get out." So he leaves. He becomes quite ill. He eventually like loses his eyes. He becomes blind and becomes like catatonic. I have a lot of thoughts about the Father Delaney storyline here because it is wild. But that's what's happening to him. That's not even like what's going on with the family. With them, they have an aunt visit, Aunt Helena, who is a nun. She like immediately becomes sick when she walks into the home and has to go puke. George has a business partner who comes by and his wife, Carolyn, is immediately like, "Oh, I have bad vibes about this place. I am not going in there." It's like pretty heavily implied that she's like clairvoyant or something. But as for the family itself, occurrences start popping up as they tend to do in horror films. And this was one where I'm like, there are so many trademarks here. There are doors closing. There's the flies. Kathy has nightmares. George has like scary visions. Money goes missing. One of the kids has their hand crushed by a sash window that they like cannot get lifted. And the daughter has an imaginary friend named Jody, who, that's telltale sign number 1 right there. But most of all, George starts to become very volatile, violent, abusive, and just pretty much insane. Things really escalate when Carolyn comes back by and they discover like a quote unquote gateway to hell in the basement. And that's the point where it really goes from like, okay, this is more than just like a haunting. This is something like very malevolent. Eventually, Kathy starts researching and finds out that the house was built on a Shinnecock burial ground and that a devil worshiper named John Ketchum once lived there. And she discovers that Ron DeFeo Jr. looked just like George when he was arrested and went to trial. So you have all this weird stuff going on. And I would say pretty suddenly, it ends with George attacking the kids with an axe or trying to, and Kathy trying to stop him. And then at that moment, they're all like, okay, let's get out of here. And they leave. George goes back to save the dog. And it ends with a statement of the Lutzes left the home and all their belongings and never returned. So that is the Amityville Horror. I had a lot of fun with House on Haunted Hill. This one's a slow burn, and I think the wick is too long.
Honey, it's not about the size, it's what you do with it.
Did you just use a candle reference?
I did.
The Wick?
Yeah. Slow burn.
Me with John Wick chapter, what was it, 4. The Wick is too long.
Him too, maybe. I don't know. But I found it kind of dull. And again, it's taking a lot of these like cliches and like putting them together. I don't build enough care for the characters, I think. And the Father Delaney stuff, if you cut all that out of the movie, I think it's better. Part of it is Rod Steiger overacting. Part of it is just like I don't see why we keep leaving the house to go on this guy. What is his deal? I don't understand why this is part of it. This is one where I think the story behind the movie and the book and all that is far more interesting than the movie itself. But
so here's my hot take. To preface, I've seen this movie maybe a dozen times at this point. It was like the first horror movie my parents were like, okay, you can watch this one.
This?
Yeah. And I watched it and I was like, this is great. I don't know. Like, just love the scariness, love the I don't know. I like that it's also a drama, I guess, like a family drama. And that's what I've come to really like about it is the family drama aspect of it. I guess just like, what is a metaphor for the horror genre? Like a man being possessed and now he's acting volatile. Why is my father suddenly angry and wanting to hit me? A child would want to know. This isn't personal. It was my mother who hit me. Anyway.
Whoa. Today on Oprah.
Anyway. But like you would think.
Oh my God.
Alcoholism or like, I don't know, something just like getting to him. But in a horror movie, it's like, oh, it's a demon possession.
mm-hmm.
And that's like the sort of thing. And like, I could see them definitely like trying to bank off that in like the real life scenario of, wow, George is acting weird now. Maybe it's this house that's doing it to him. That being said, this watch, I really did think also like the priest stuff. I'm like, this is 1 year. No, it's not 1 year after The Exorcist. The Exorcist is 1973, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, still, it's like after The Exorcist, and they're like, what made that movie so popular? The faith stuff. Let them question their faith. I did listen to the audiobook many years ago. It wasn't very remarkable. I can't remember anything being too different. I think it didn't focus as much on the priest stuff I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly or not, but I imagine that all feels like it was added on in order to appeal to a broader audience that remembered The Exorcist from 5 years before.
Oh, maybe even The Omen too, which is
sure.
like 76 or something.
But
Yeah, I think you're right on the priest because I was reading today. There's still a lot of debate about how involved the priest really was. Like there was some times where he was like, we just shared a few phone calls. And there were others where he's like, yeah, I was hearing voices. So
Okay,
who
but like,
knows?
the whole like religious aspects in these types of movies are interesting to me. Being like, I guess what would be the term, like a relapsed Catholic or something like that, and like we're taught that, oh no, exorcists, they don't exist, and then like the more you read about it, it's like, okay, if you needed like a full on exorcism, there are so many loopholes you have to go through. Which like something like The Conjuring does very well, because they're like, okay, we need help here. I don't know if they're possessed.
Yeah.
Got to get the Vatican approval.
I will say the first one does it very well. The sequels, they're like, Ed, get your book.
Yeah, basically. I think that's the other, and just like definitely the long tail The Exorcist has had on the horror genre is it's just easy to call in someone religious, and most of the times it doesn't really mean anything. Like in The Exorcist, it's literally about a man fighting his faith in God. In the Amityville Horror, it doesn't really apply to these people because they're not religious, really. Like, they're having someone bless the house, and they have a nun for an aunt, but I don't see them like, they seem very casual about their faith.
Yeah.
Right. They're not like church going. They're not really investigative about it. It's like, sure, we'll take the priest.
Yeah.
Which I've always like with this movie, it's like what you said at the very beginning of it. It's a very slow burn for me. Like, it's fine, right? I told Zay the other day that I think the sequels are better.
Which is crazy, but I don't know if
which is
I don't
so
know.
like
Okay. I don't know about better. More entertaining, I'll give you that.
Okay, so I'll say that. So they're more entertaining. I don't remember the second one. Third one though, which is the 3D one we saw recently, it is entertaining. It has to do with whatever's in the basement. Shit happens. It's wild. The fourth one has to do with a haunted lamp, and it is on Tubi. And Patty Duke is in it. Jane Wyatt is in it from Father Knows Best, and a wonderful Golden Girls joke that goes on and on about Jane Wyatt, Jane Wyman, Ronald Reagan, whatever. But like a possessed lamp, that movie
that they
is
bought at a yard sale
from the house.
from the house.
It is ridiculous. It is hilarious. I highly recommend it. Could not find the fifth one. If anybody can find the fifth one for us, that'd be great.
It's about time.
No, that's the sixth one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the fifth one, could not find it. Sixth one, about time, with now a possessed clock that can also Back to the Future things.
Oh my
okay?
God.
Not as good as the lamp. Okay, but still kind of wild. That's all we've seen so far. Now, I'm interested in the Amityville vibrator. All right. But like there are and Zay has seen a bunch of these. There are so many fucking sequels to this.
Okay, well there's like the official sequels.
Yes.
And then there's like the ones that came out once people realized Amityville is not like a trademark. And they could just make a movie.
Because it's a city.
Exactly.
Like.
Yeah.
But 2 is actually a prequel. It's like the guy who kills his family, but it's like he's like super possessed. It's fine. It's like super serious. That one actually does have a lot more about fighting your faith, because like it's like the priest is like trying to help him to overcome his demons.
If you go to Wikipedia, they have a list of all of the movies based on just this thing.
Yeah.
And it is like,
it's long.
Right. Like last week I was trying to find a zombie movie. There is an Amityville zombie movie out there.
There's a filmmaker, Michael Variotti, I think. Yeah. He's always trying to pitch Amityville Glory Hole.
I mean, at this point, why not?
Why not?
And there's a Ryan Reynolds remake.
That's not good.
When he was doing like serious work. Serious work.
Yeah.
Brett has beef with Ryan Reynolds.
I have a pretty severe Ryan Reynolds allergy, but we won't get into that. I do like that reading, Zay. I also like... So Stephen King had some thoughts on this movie as well. And eventually, like originally he was like, oh, this sucks. But then he was like, you know what? Actually, this is like a pretty good metaphor for like anxiety about home ownership and finances,
Sure.
especially in the 70s.
Yeah.
And like as someone, we've been looking for a place to rent for, almost a couple months now. And I'm like, yeah, like I feel that part of the movie for sure. It's just, I guess you could say some of the ideas and like some of the things it reflects on our sound, it's just not, it doesn't grip me enough.
My favorite parts of the movie, one is when Margot Kidder looks out the window because her daughter says Jody jumped outside the window, and then suddenly you see the two flashing lights. I don't know, that's scary to me. Um,
Pause.
yes.
Because no, that is a very scary scene, and I always forget about it. But like, yes, no, I'll just say that it's scary. I had growing up in like the bathroom a skylight or whatever, and so like at night when it's pitch black, because you can't see lights, you only see up in the stars. Like I would hate looking up
Oh my
because of the
god.
fear of something, the fear of
Yeah.
something like that. And my family was one to be like, let Christian watch the scary movies, he'll be fine.
The other part I was just gonna say as Margot Kidder, she is amazing in this movie. I love her in this movie. She, uh, is just hot in this movie. I mean,
Agreed. I mean,
as a person that does not find women too attractive personally, I'm just like, I can't deny Margot Kidder in Amityville Horror.
she's fun in everything I've seen her in. And I would include this in that. I think she's good in this movie. Really good. And I think that's part of the problem for me is that James Brolin is such a bad counterpart in this movie. Like he just has no personality whatsoever or charisma. He just like stands there blank faced the whole time. And I think it's part of the point, but I'm also like, give me something.
Yeah, I
with
think
this
it's
character.
he has like the Jack Nicholson and The Shining problem. Is like he doesn't really change his character too much by the end. Like, he shows a little bit in like when you see them like talking to the realtor, but you don't get enough of it. I agree.
I like the point you made about where she looks out the window, she sees the two eyes or whatever. I think it could use more of that because I was reading Ebert's review and he gave it 1.5 stars. And he felt like it was missing a real like horror presence, like the alien in Alien or the demon in The Exorcist. There's Jody, but
I guess they were
I think
trying to think that Brolin would be that figure, but he's so easily defeated that it's like,
right. Exactly. I think if you could maybe do that, but it's got to be scary. And maybe at the time it was, for a certain age it is. For me, it certainly wasn't. If not, like, think about my favorite, haunted house horror movies like The Conjuring. Part of the thing that really works in that movie is Bathsheba is really terrifying as a villain. And it was missing some of that, I thought.
I think The Conjuring as well, since it's also a movie that's quote unquote based on true stories, which, you know what? Bless the Conjuring movies for making us like love the Warrens.
Yes.
Because I guarantee I would not like the real life Warrens the same way I
No, absolutely not.
But because I guess like this is based on a true story means a lot different back in the 70s horror genre than it would today, where it's like mostly used as, whatever. But it's based on a best-selling book by people who are still alive. So I'm sure they were trying not to like sensationalize,
Yeah.
which
And
to its detriment to today's, like, that's why it doesn't really hold up to with modern audiences as well as it did back then, I believe.
yeah. And it's
I
hard
know.
because I would like a grounded movie, but I don't know.
I had no idea this was nominated for original score.
I love the score in this movie. I will say that's its like strongest. Like I love the score in this movie.
I love the score as well. I am curious of your thoughts of the score during the sex scene.
Okay,
Because that's
fair
the one
enough,
part
yeah.
where I'm like, this is weird. The score during that scene is so funny, but otherwise, it's really, really good. I agree.
Like the haunting children's choir.
Oh, second highest grossing film of 79.
What was
Only
first?
behind
Yeah.
Kramer versus Kramer.
Back
What
when
a time.
movies used to mean something.
We used to have class.
That would be a hell of a double feature.
Another, y'all may have read this, but this is Wikipedia research, so don't hold me to it. But apparently, this was the highest grossing independent film of all time for a number of years. And again, your definition of independent film may vary, throwing that out there. But do you all know what supposedly surpassed it? It is the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh my god.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just
Which I
like
found funny.
Halloween was 1978, so that's where I'm like I don't know.
Yeah, where are your facts from, friend?
Literally Wikipedia, he said that.
I said Wikipedia.
And my
Oh.
English teacher, who's not even listening, just had an aneurysm.
Halloween
okay,
grossed less.
yeah, it made 47. This made 86.
Oh, okay. Oh, but okay, I guess I was thinking more of like multipliers. Halloween was like the biggest multiplier for like many years.
Oh, like profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Because Halloween only costs between 300 and 325,000 to make, and this was at least
This one had good financiers despite being
4.7 million to make.
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, despite being independent. Before I forget, I have to find, again, this is also Wikipedia, so...
Oh my god. I say it's like I don't use that for all my facts.
So Margot Kidder apparently did an interview in 2009 about this film, and I just want to read her quote for what she thought about this movie. Quote, "A piece of shit. I couldn't believe that anyone would take that seriously. I was laughing my whole way through it, much to the annoyance of Rod Steiger, who took the whole thing very seriously. At the time, my agent proposed sort of a one for me, one for them policy. That was one for them. It was crazy Christians who made it a hit. They wanted people to believe in the devil and possessions and haunted houses, and that was all hooey." Iconic. I mean, no matter what you think of the movie, that's just
but she
amazing.
was also, she was making some money because she's coming off of Superman.
Yeah.
After this, like...
She's an icon.
Totally.
Like, she became just like an angry leftist in her older years, and like people just stopped like hiring her, and she was like, all right, I'll just get worse.
Love it.
All right, but did you know there is another fun fact that I can roll out for you guys? We have our first in our podcast's movies, our first overlapping actor. He was in both Bay Pig in the City and the Amityville Horror.
Oh my God.
You will not guess him because I had no idea who
Isn't-
this guy's was.
Mickey Rooney!
No,
I know,
God.
that's where my brain went.
His name is Eddie Barth.
Eddie!
Eddie!
He plays someone Argucci. I guess he was like one of the priests that's like in The Office, I think. But he also plays the voices of those two dogs in Mickey Rooney's like Airbnb,
Oh my God.
like the bulldog
That's
and the
funny.
mastiff.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm looking at his filmography, and this is not my double feature yet. It's in the future. I have it lined up, but there is one movie in here that I was highly considering, and that'd been hilarious.
I really hope it's Rover Dangerfield.
Damn it!
Hey, maybe we'll eventually just do his filmography. Shaft. There's Shaft. Fame. Um, the man in the Santa Claus suit. If we want to do, for what? Who? That was Jimmy Stewart's last movie, wasn't it?
No, his last movie was An American Tail, Five Goes
Oh, that's
West.
right. No, sorry, it was
That's
Fred
right.
Astaire's last movie.
Good
That's all I
Lord.
got.
Okay.
I would just say I'm not going to go into the whole behind the scenes history, but like, if you're curious, check out all the stuff behind Amityville Horror and the legal disputes and all that stuff, because I think it's kind of interesting.
I don't know if you, I walked away for a bit, but I don't know if you touched on this where, and this is like comparing and contrasting both movies, but both of them you brought up like, are these houses actually haunted? Like, there's that too going for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the point you made, Tuesday, about the true story aspect, because that is something that has for sure carried over along with all the different like scare techniques in the movie. This one is much closer to, I think, what we tend to see from haunted house films today.
Sure. Yeah.
Also, I simply would buy Raid and Fly Traps.
That's the thing. Is like the priest had a hard time in that room. Did anyone else go in that room? Did they?
Right. And the fact that he didn't leave, like you can leave, there's a door. There's a window, just jump or something.
When the nun vomits, it's kind of funny to me.
I kept expecting the camera to like pan or something and it would be like black bile or something.
Mm.
But no, she just like closes the car door and drives away.
Do we think
Aw.
Barbara Streisand has seen this movie?
Maybe. Probably. It was pretty
I'll
popular.
say yes. Yeah. It's a big movie.
Barbara, if you're listening.
There is I work at PetSmart and we do like parties. Like it's basically just taking silly photos of the dogs every other week. But we're starting to like, they're letting people pitch their ideas. And mine was Hello Doggy, a Barbra Streisand tribute. And I'm hoping it gets picked.
And everybody was like, crickets.
No, think about it. Just put him in a big old hat, big old dress. Make all
I
the
support it.
make all the Yorkies into Yorkles.
Move
Amazing.
on.
Other films, favorite haunted house movies?
We have on here The Conjuring, which we've talked extensively about.
Of course.
Crimson Peak, which I will say I wasn't the biggest fan, and then I'm like, I like it now, but like in the beginning I was like, whatever.
I think a lot of
about it.
people were really mad that it wasn't an actual horror movie.
Right. I think that's
Yeah.
what, like, you got to realize that it's not. Yeah.
You could accuse it of being too CGI. Maybe I really like the
Yeah, there's
design of
that
the
too.
ghosts in that
Yeah.
movie. I love Jessica Chastain in that movie too. I think
Mhm.
that's one of her underrated roles. So,
You have His House. Is that the one that was on Netflix?
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
I think
This
it's pretty
movie-
scary.
That one's also like really good of just like Amityville touches so little on like the Native American burial ground or whatever, while His House is so much more about that sort of thing. Not necessarily that the house is built on anything, but that just the history of people are in the house.
Yeah, and it's not exploitative or anything like that.
No.
So
You have on here House, which I'm assuming the Japanese movie, right?
yeah,
Zay,
fun.
like, Zay lives that movie.
That's top 10,
Poltergeist.
of course.
of course,
Yes.
classic.
Grave Encounters, for me, yes. Haunted Asylum in that case. No, nobody.
I like it.
Thank you. Brett just hates himself, I guess.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's true.
It's
You know.
so good. You need to watch it in the dark. A movie that I watched recently called The Home with Pete Davidson. That movie is wild. Okay? Wild. That's all you need to know. Scary Movie 2, and I only put I put this for a couple reasons. One, it takes place in a haunted house, but two, there is an Amityville scene that has to do
Okay.
with, like, the flies and stuff. So yes, there's a direct connection there. 13 Ghost, both versions. So the remake that's super popular, and then William Castle does have the OG, which uses the gimmick of it's something to do with like glasses, where like you put the glasses on and you can see the ghost. I didn't care for it. I think it's not scary because most of the people in there are like, "Woo, look at that ghost," and that's
It's fun.
it is. But yeah, the others.
Great pick.
Yes,
Good.
yes. You should ask me about when I first was introduced to that movie.
When we first introduced that movie.
My parents showed me like one of the scenes. It was the "I am your daughter" scene, and I ran out of the room. Yeah.
Another movie I didn't get to type it in, but I want to mention it real quick. Basically, the prototype of this genre, James Whale's The Old Dark House,
Oh
which
yes.
1932. I don't think highly doubt it's the first, but it was like so many films after it would go back to this, to the point I didn't even know that William Castle remade it a few years after House on Haunted Hill. But yeah, it's like very similar of like going into this house and be like, is it haunted? Is it not? And it's also kind of comedic too.
I have on here The Shining, which we talked about briefly. The Treehouse of Horror, so like The Simpsons episode, like the first, not episode, but the first Treehouse of Horrors has an Amityville parody, and it's like the very first segment.
It's such
It's
a
called
good
Bad
one.
Dream House. It is. That the entire episode is like incredible, but the first one is about a haunted house, and it's hilarious. I put me and my strange fascination with found footage movies. Because whenever there's a haunted house found footage movie, you know I'm there. Okay, I watched one last night called Its Name Was Mormo.
The way you just nonchalantly threw that out there is incredible.
Mormo?
Yes.
Me when I can't remember Mitt Romney's name.
It literally like it's a haunted house situation because they bring some bad vibes back. And you never see Mormo, but that's the name. They never even mention that name, but that is the title of the movie. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Any episode of Scooby-Doo, honestly, and any episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. Throwback to that, like,
Totally.
amazing show. And then I put the plethora of sequels for Amityville, which we've talked about, so. And you know what? Its name was Mormo.
Oh my God.
Love it.
That was the loudest you have laughed tonight.
I just love a good unexpected joke. Like, not that even it was a joke because I found it. There's a real movie called that.
It does exist.
All right, Christian.
Well,
Come to this. Are we watching? Its name was Mormo.
yes,
Oh my
we're
God.
watching. Its name was Mormo. We will be watching that, and let me find another found footage movie that was completely awful that I sat through the entire time. All right. There was one, okay, side note. There was one we watched the other night called, literally, I need like a side thing with found footage movies, okay? Called Howard's Mill on Tubi. Again, Tubi is giving me all this shit. And it has an alien on the front of it. The movie had nothing to do with aliens.
Oh.
It was like forensic files, essentially. So, no. Is it my turn to present?
It
Yes.
is.
Okay, well, thank you, Brett, for your movies. All right. Well, I don't know about you two, but I have a list of like 50 double features.
Oh my God.
Because I've been in the house. So I've had time. They're all very curated. Okay. So, I will say, I bet one of you is expecting me to pick a Spielberg movie. We're not picking a Spielberg movie yet because I think that we're too close from doing the Brain Damage and Venom to be doing E.T.
Sure.
because that's obviously the natural one that I would pick. We're waiting for later for that. It's going to get its big moment.
To people who don't know, natural because our old podcast never got to E.T. and it's like Christian's favorite movie that never got discussed.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we're gonna get like a few episodes out of episode 2 in order to get to E.T. Okay, so E.T.'s coming. All right. So I was like, okay, and Toby helped me with these. I told Brett today, the first set is going to like move us into Halloween, when the second set will move us into Thanksgiving, the vibes of everything. Okay, so we're going to go with a director I really like and a director that is one of like my favorites. So the director that I really like is Martin Scorsese. Okay, and Brett's like gagged right now, so I don't think we really talk about him that much. I don't feel like we do. Do we? Yeah.
We didn't do many of his movies on our previous podcast.
We
I
did
don't think.
Hugo.
Hugo,
No, we
Wolf
also-
of Wall Street,
After
After
Hours.
Hours.
Okay. So, as Brett's like, is it Goodfellas? Is it Goodfellas? It's not Goodfellas.
It better not be New York, New York. That's all I'm going to say. But if it is, that's okay too.
Oh my God. It's not. We will be watching his 2010 film, Shutter Island.
Yes.
A
Looking forward-
movie.
I've been wanting to watch that.
A movie I have seen partially back in like cable days, but I've never actually marked as seen on Letterboxd.
Well, there you go.
So this is the first
And-
movie new to me on this podcast, so that's exciting.
Nice. And we will now be going backwards into another one of my favorite directors. My favorite actually non-living director, who is...
Hitchcock, right?
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes. And we will be watching his 1945. I honestly feel like not as well seen as many of them, but we will be watching Spellbound with
Oh.
Ingrid Bergman and Gregory Peck.
That is my like number one haven't seen Hitchcock movie.
Yay. So Zay hasn't seen the Scorsese and you haven't seen the Hitchcock.
Love that.
Perfect. So that, like I said, it brings us into Halloween-y vibes. I'm fairly certain you guys out there listening will get the theme right away. I'm sure you two got the theme like the second I probably said Spellbound.
A little
So it's pretty fairly
idea.
obvious. Yeah. It's gay people. I don't know.
bit. I don't.
Not what I had in mind.
So there you go. Spellbound, Shutter Island.
I will say though, Christian, you do know this is going to come out like the second week in November, like your episode will be.
Halloween was great, y'all.
Like this comes out. This episode particular will be like towards the end of October, and then yours will be like. We'll record it probably in Halloween.
Look, we're still feeling the Halloween vibes when we watch
Hey, I
them.
don't care. I'm
Totally.
not gonna.
Totally.
And I will say, I needed a little like older feature. I really liked that we had the 59 movie, but I was like, hey, cool, let's go even further back.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm a like, yeah. Plus, Spellbound popped up on TCM the other day and I clicked record so fast. So I'm ready to go.
Is it not one of the VHSs you have now?
Okay. That's another thing I will say about Spellbound, which is why I said I feel like it's one of his lesser watched ones, is because it is not in any of the big collections
You're right.
that I have.
It's on my like. I have like this 3 movie collection. It's on one of those.
Right. And I have the big, it's like a white box. It has most of the bigger titles,
Same.
plus some of the episodes, not in there. The VHS collection I have, not in there. So I'm like, perfect, let's do this, because I'm sure not a lot of people think about this movie. So there you go. Those are my picks.
I'm excited. Great job.
Thank you. These were not the original picks that I said at the beginning of, oh, you guys are going to be like, whoa, that one's going to come later. That's the episode.
We'll be on the
Dun,
lookout for
dun,
that
dun.
one. Follow us on Blue Sky and also now Instagram.
What's up? Okay,
And
let me
Twitter?
get the name. Hold up. Okay. I probably should have made all these the same name.
It's okay. Christian's gonna build us a link tree.
Oh, I forgot those things exist. Oh, I gotta do that. Okay. Let me make sure I get the Twitter one right, unless somebody can beat me to finding it.
No, I'm not looking, so.
Because they just refollowed me today. Followers. Okay, wait. Not Dana Carvey. Right here. Okay. Our Twitter is 2, as in like the number, 2 crop circle pod.
I get it.
I don't know. They were like, you can't have it that long. So I was like, all right, cool. And then our Instagram, you would think, but it is Midwestern double feature.
Simple but effective.
Simple but effective. And Zay has made some very fantastic pictures to put on here so that like people actually know what movies to watch before they listen. And I and my wittiness put some bomb music choices with them.
Love it.
So, yeah. So follow us for however many people listen.
All right.
We're also on Apple podcasts. We're on Spotify. Evidently, we're on YouTube, right?
We are.
That's weird. You can't see us, but we can
Can't
see
see
you.
us.
So yeah, tell us how it is. Like, review. I'm like the social media person here now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to these podcasts personally because I don't like listening to myself.
Oh God, no, yeah, no.
So tell us if
One
they're
day
any
I'll
good.
do some editing for Brett so he can take a rest, but one day.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
So all right, take us out, Brett.
Tune in next time.
Bye.
Farewell. See ya.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Adios.
Farewell.